On May 12th, 17 districts of Andhra Pradesh recorded temperatures above 41 degrees Celsius. On April 21st, mercury levels surged past the 40 degrees Celsius mark across all 33 districts of Telangana. What is it about Andhra Pradesh and Telangana that makes it so hot during summers? Hello and welcome to The Hindu. I'm Priyali Prakash and you're watching Tipping Point, our weekly show where we cover climate events. Our main story this week is why Andhra Pradesh and Telangana get so hot during summers. This is because of a mix of geographical and climate factors. First up, it's the location of these states. Both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana fall between the Tropic of Cancer and the equator in the tropical or torrid zone. This zone typically experiences hot and humid weather. In summer months, the sun shines vertically above these states. According to Mahesh Palawat, who is the Vice President of Meteorology and Climate Change at SkyMet, this leads to increased solar radiation and heating, and hence the higher temperatures. Telangana is also a landlocked state. It has no water bodies nearby to moderate the temperature. This is also true for the interior districts of Andhra Pradesh. Another important factor that causes high temperatures in these states is the rocky terrain of the Deccan Plateau. Here's Dr. Vimal Mishra, professor at IIT Gandhinagar, explaining this further.
What could make a lot of difference that how the land surface is. So, for instance, the terrain, whether a lot of area is under agriculture or under forest or is the mostly barren land, especially the rocky terrain, right? Because when the heat or high temperatures, the role of land and land cover becomes very, very important. So, for instance, if you compare to the regions which are under intensive agriculture or where we have dense forest, those areas are much cooler because of something called evaporative cooling. So when you have high temperatures, the evaporative demand goes up, and because of lot of evaporation, either through plants that we call transpiration, or from soil if moisture is available in soil, and because of this evaporation, evaporative cooling happens, which makes us feel the cooler temperature. So the Andhra and Telangana terrain is very different than, so it's a more geologically, it's a more, you can say, rocky terrain where not much agriculture, at least during the summer, or there is also not effect of irrigation. So what has been observed through a lot of research in India and other places across the globe, that irrigation makes a lot of difference in summer air temperature. So irrigation can suppress heat wave.
Evaporative cooling leads to a reduction in temperature of the surroundings as water requires energy to convert from liquid to gaseous state. In drier climates, when water evaporates, it takes up heat from the surroundings as its source of energy to convert to vapor, hence reducing the temperature.
So this evaporation and combined with transpiration, which we call it evapotranspiration, this sends a lot of water from land to air or atmosphere. And this evaporative cooling reduces the intensity of heat waves.
According to the State of Forest Report 2023, Andhra Pradesh lost 138.66 square kilometers of forest cover compared to the 2021 assessment, while Telangana lost 100.42 square kilometers. Lack of sufficient rainfall also adds to the heat in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. According to Mr. Palawat, between March and May, these states don't get enough rainfall to cool down the temperatures. Monsoon reaches here after June 10th. This causes less cloud cover and more sunshine. So what can be done to reduce the impact of high summer temperatures here? According to Dr. Mishra, the absence of an early warnings forecast system based on early observations is one of the biggest challenges to mitigating heat waves.
So we need to work basically the climate community and the health professional and the labor organizations. These three should work together to do more research to understand the morbidity, mortality, and the health related risk because of increasing heat based on different locations, based on different time periods, etc., etc. So a lot of work needs to be done. I think the first step is to understand the risk. Okay, so what is the risk and how risk has changed over the years? Whatever data set we have, last 4 or 5 decades data is available. So that is the first step. Then the differentiating dry heat and humid heat, which are the districts, blocks that face predominant risk because of dry heat, and which are the districts block where humid heat is very prominent, and which face both of these at different times. And then identifying that, then based on this characteristic nature data or understanding the risk, the state can plan that what kind of early warning systems we need, for which are very localized, precise, specific. And so general heat wave early warning is there is going to be heat wave, right? But rather than that, you tell the nature of heat wave, whether this is because of high temperature, whether this is because of combination, what could be the health impacts, what could be the impacts on other sectors, what to do, what not to do. It has been proven that early warning systems are very, very effective for heat waves. So we should implement, but they remain ineffective because we don't understand the differential risk at different places.
Hi, this is Siddharth Kumar Singh, senior reporter at The Hindu in Hyderabad. We are currently in the outskirts of Mulugu district of Telangana, and we'll be talking about how Telangana is handling heat wave this year. So in 2024, Telangana reported 10 heat wave deaths. As Telangana continued to witness heat wave this year as well, the state government took a significant step by bringing in an order which by declaring heat wave, sunstroke and sunburn as a state-specific disaster. Now through this order, families who lose their loved ones to heat waves will now get a financial assistance of about 4 lakhs. This is a significant uptick from the earlier 50,000 rupees given under the Apat Bandhu scheme. Now apart from that, the Telangana government has also released the Telangana Heatwave Action Plan 2025. The report mentions that in 2024, Nalgonda district of Telangana reported about 81 heatwave days. Then in contrast, there are districts like Hyderabad and Medak which have not recorded any heatwave day at all. The heatwave plan outlines various preparedness measures being taken by the government to tackle heatwave across the state. The major part is being played by the health department. The health department is continuing. The health department's main focus are the semi-urban and rural areas in the district. In those districts, the health department is setting up special beds and heat stroke related wards across all the hospitals. Apart from that, the Director of Public Health has ensured that all public health facilities across the state have special IV beds, and IV fluids available with them. And as part of the preparedness measure, the health department has also distributed ORS packets to ANMs, ASHA workers and Anganwadi workers so that they can distribute it to the vulnerable locations.
And now, on to a few more recent climate headlines. Bengaluru was struck by heavy overnight rain between Sunday and Monday this week. Visuals of flooded roads, bus stands, and other parts of the city became viral on the internet as life in the city was disrupted. Pre-monsoon showers hit the city 3 days ago, causing waterlogging. According to the India meteorological data recorded at 8:30 am on May 19, Bengaluru city received 105.5 millimeters of rainfall in the past 24 hours. Heavy rain also lashed Bengaluru on Saturday, causing flooding and traffic jams as trees fell and life across the city was affected. The IMD had issued a yellow alert for the city and said that the rainfall and thunderstorms are to persist till May 21st. In a previous episode of Tipping Point, we discussed why Bengaluru floods so much. The city has witnessed extensive encroachment of its natural resources and green spaces, which makes extreme weather events like excessive rainfall worse. According to experts, rapid urbanization has increased demand for land, which is often unplanned and leaves minimal to no routes for rainwater to escape. This leads to inundation and flooding in residential and urban areas. In April, 3 people were killed and more than 600 houses were damaged in Jammu and Kashmir's Ramban district after flash floods and landslides in the area due to cloudburst. Heavy rain and thunderstorms also hit hill states of Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. New research suggests that this extreme weather activity was caused due to back-to-back western disturbances. Western disturbances are a weather phenomena. They originate over the Mediterranean Sea and travel east towards the Indian subcontinent. As they hit the Himalayas, they cause winter rain and even snow in states like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, and also rain in the Indo-Gangetic plates. The research directly links a rise in the frequency of western disturbances to climate change, which has made hilly states more prone to extreme weather. More than 100 people were killed overnight as floods swept through the Kasaba village in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo earlier this month. This is not the first time torrential rains have wreaked havoc in the African country, which is already marred by violence and conflict. According to reports, the remote village is only accessible by Lake Tanganyika and does not even have internet service. Many of those killed in the floods were children and the elderly. Climate change affects all aspects of all life on Earth, including human pregnancies. Climate Central recently published data collected between 2020 and 2024 for 247 countries, territories, and dependencies. 222 of these regions showed that climate change at least doubled the annual average number of pregnancy heat risk days. For the study, pregnancy heat risk days are calculated by looking at the number of days when temperatures were hotter than what's normal for a place, specifically hotter than 95% of the past temperatures. These extra hot days are linked to a higher risk of babies being born too early and are called pregnancy heat risk days. India experienced an average of 6 additional pregnancy heat risk days each year in the past 5 years. Panji in Goa was the worst hit city and experienced 39 additional pregnancy heat risk days each year on average in the past 5 years. That's all from this week's Tipping Point. If you found this discussion insightful, please subscribe to The Hindu.